Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Hope all is well. Coming to you from the Holy Land of Israel. We are in a very, very special moment in history. Obviously, a intense one, and of course with many tragedies that we've witnessed, but we should know that we're heading towards a good place. That the victory is very near. Not just victory of this, war, of this round, this war, this front, but victory, ultimate victory, redemption. Now I want to go a little bit into a little updates on what's going on in this situation, to give you a little bit of updates from someone on the ground here, in the Holy Land. and then I'll get into what the prophecies are and what we can take from it. What there is to learn from this, and how and also how to apply it in our lives, the message of Hashem into our lives in a way that's going to affect us in a positive way. So, of course, the war is ongoing. The Israeli army is in Gaza, and they did it in a very interesting way. I was listening to some interesting reports on the situation from, not from mainstream news, but from very, very reliable sources and very intelligent people, and not analyzing the situation. Or a good guy I like to listen to explains how the way the Israeli army went into Gaza, it was very interesting. Everyone was expecting them to just go in, and to, Hezbollah was threatening, if you guys go in, oy vavoy. They didn't say oy vavoy, but they were saying, if you guys go in, look what we're going to attack you full on. So Israel didn't go in a fancy way where they, beat the drums and made a whole declaration of their invasion and so on and so forth. They started off with operations within the Gaza Strip, which were going on, and they slowly upped the operations until they were just already in. And by the time they were already in, it wasn't, they were already fully in. By the time people realized, went from like what seemed like an operation where they're slowly going in to them being fully in, and they caught the world by surprise. And it was like an interesting way of warfare where they didn't announce numbers, and it was definitely the wisdom of God. God blessed them with this tactic to be able to, the strategy to overwhelm the enemy and kind of sneak by them in a way. So they're in Gaza, and they definitely didn't start a full-out war in the north yet. Hopefully, it stays that way, but Emir Hashem, with God's help. But they did a little bit increase their attacks, Hezbollah up in Lebanon, and Syria. But they didn't fully, go into full-fledged warfare, probably because they're afraid and they don't want an all-out war, and they want to still show like they're standing with Hamas, and they are, having, back and forth with the Israeli army, which are intense, of course, and the most intense fighting since the Second Lebanon War back in 2006. But we definitely can't call it all-out war. It's far from that, of course, but it is, a measured conflict in a sense, back and forth. Same goes with Syria. The Houthis have been launching from Yemen, which is interesting. It's a very intense situation around the world. And I want to also mention that the major players are behind it. Of course, America and their allies in Europe are behind it, but mainly America. And as well as Iran behind Hezbollah and Hamas. And, in a sense, Russia and China allied with Iran, but less directly involved. So there is a major scale in this war that we haven't seen before. And I've always said it, that the Holy Land of Israel is a place that can trigger, massive magnitude of shockwaves throughout the world in terms of conflict, because it's such a holy place that it's able to trigger chaotic reactions. But we have to have the main mindset, that where I'm coming with all this is that we are being guided by, the world is being controlled by Hashem, God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all of these events have their purpose, and Hashem is guiding us towards a new era. And I believe that this war is, and it's more than just belief. We feel it, that this war has catapulted us, or activated a new era that we're in. We're in a deeper stage in the Messianic era. I wouldn't say a new era, but a new stage in the era, because the Rebbe already told us that we're in the final generation. So we activated a new phase where we're in a new stage of this final generation. And what we're seeing is unity among all the Jewish people. the prophecy, we spoke about it many times, because we want to bring prophecy, nevuah, nevuos, which means the prophecy in the holy language, that Hamas is going to fill the earth, and behold, Hashem will eradicate them and remove them from the earth, which we're seeing. We also see that, of course, the prophecies that major fighter boats, armed boats, massive armed boats, will be on the coasts of Israel. It's also a sign for us that of the final war, of the moments preceding the coming of Mashiach. Which, by the way, a lot of the details we don't know, and after the war happens, only after certain events happen, we're going to realize that these were the events. So people can't say that these aren't the final moments of the coming of Mashiach, because these moments are only going to become clear afterwards. So we're seeing things develop. You can't count out how close we are to the coming of Mashiach, because we know the Mashiach could come at any moment. He could come today, actually. It teaches he literally could come today, and if we return to Hashem, he will come today, God willing. I want to go a little, more into the idea that we have to realize what the Baal Shem Tov says, the holy Baal Shem Tov, our hasidic master, that all of reality is being controlled by Hashem, and a leaf doesn't fall from the tree without the command of Hashem. So everything happening in the world is divine providence, hashgacha pratis, which means God himself is controlling this and communicating to us through this. So if something at this scale is happening in the holiest place on earth to our nation, Jewish or righteous Gentile, it's affecting us, the children, the people carrying out Hashem's messengers, then surely Hashem is asking for our attention, asking for our service to an even higher degree. So this is the main message, that we will update you on the situations, and of course we wish the best of success to the Israeli army, who is having tremendous success with the kindness of God in Gaza. God willing, we're going to take back our own land, which never should have been given away in the first place. It's illegal under Jewish law to give up the land of Israel. It poses a direct life-threatening danger to the Jewish people, so we're not allowed to give up any land, but God willing, we're going to take it back. What's ours, not take it back, take what's ours. And of course, disarm and annihilate the enemy that wants to harm us. And not just harm us, but an enemy of the children of Hashem, enemy of humanity at large. And it's not just this front, there's many fronts, but God could fix this all in a moment. So that's the main message. And obviously the magnitude of this war is interesting to watch. And of course we wish the best of success. As I just mentioned, we're having major successes, but we should know that this war is mainly fought in our hearts, in our actions, with our service of Hashem, because the spiritual plane is like the projector onto the physical plane. Yes, there's things that happen in the physical plane, events, wars, but the main supply and the main causer and effector upon reality, this war, is our spiritual actions. So we all have to look at our ways, think how we could serve Hashem better. If you're Jewish, by strengthening your service of Hashem and Torah and mitzvahs. If you're not Jewish, by your strengthening of following the 7 laws of Noach, and respecting each other, and recognizing that the Hashem that we're speaking about all the time, the Hashem who was there for Abraham, who was there for Isaac, who was there for Jacob, who was there for Moses and the Jewish people, and so on and so forth, and all the stories. He is here right now, and he is involved with me specifically. Hashem loves us like we are his only child, born to him in his old age. So Hashem of the Torah is the Hashem ruling reality right now, and we are watching the Torah unfold before our eyes. We are a part of the Torah. This is the prophecy. We're living in the final generation. We are in the era that's been prophesied. We're at the peak of it. So we have that itself as such an encouragement, such an excitement that should surely give us a boost to serve Hashem to an even greater degree. So I hope you like this message, my dear friends. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Please help support us below. Any amount is infinitely appreciated in these intense moments. Thank you so much. God bless you. May the Mashiach come immediately.